Thank y'all. I'm pretty sure it was Post Malone.
Post Malone?
I think he was reenacting the music video for Psycho, just in Richmond, Virginia.
No. How does one steal a tank anyway?
The guy was in the National Guard. I think we're recording now.
Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, welcome back to the Sneak Peek podcast, coming at you live.
From the summertime.
Uncensored and uncut from deep in the heart of Texas.
Indeed.
My name is Parker Lehman. And
I'm Blake Boserman.
And yeah, we're here to tell you about a lot of stuff's been going on these past couple weeks.
It's been a busy couple of weeks.
Good Lord, it's been a busy couple of weeks.
But first, I do want to start off with the classic question. What have you been watching?
Oh, yeah, that is what we do. Well, I've been watching, you know that show Arrested Development?
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
It's a very, very good show, and it's got a huge cult following, you know what I mean? And those first three, people have problems with the fourth season, but those first three seasons are like classic television.
Yeah.
And so recently they released both Season 5, the long-awaited Season 5, and a re-edit of Season 4. And both of these were... I'm not going to say disappointing. It falls just short of that. You know what I mean? Season 5 was like returning to form for how Season 3 was structured, but it didn't justify its own existence that much. It was like cute, you know, and it felt like DLC, like additional Bluth family stories and side quests, but it doesn't really amount to much in the end. And the re-edit of Season 4 is non-stop narration, like an audiobook. Ron Howard's reading you the story of the whole thing.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I mean, it was entertaining, but nothing, you know, groundbreaking like Arrested Development usually is.
All right, yeah, I've been meaning to watch that and Curb, and I have not seen either one.
Curb is amazing.
Yeah, I need to watch both. However, I have been watching something else.
What's that?
I've been watching a little television program called Letterkenny. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
All right, so one, it's not available in the U.S. You can only watch clips on YouTube.
Okay.
But all right, it takes place in Canada, and
Canadian TV.
the dialogue is written in a way that if you took Aaron Sorkin and you made him write for Larry the Cable Guy, that's what you get from it.
Wow.
It's like these rednecks in Canada who are really, really good at wordplay and like back and forth. Basically, you know how like if you get in an argument with somebody and then like you think of something 10 minutes later that you wish you had said?
Yeah, exactly.
It stars two guys who are just really, really good at that. Just banter back and forth.
Oh, just busting each other's balls?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like
That's great.
So they go through and they just like messing with people in their hometown. It's like the thing I think is really cool about it is that it takes place in southern Canada. Yet so many stereotypes of southern Canada and the southern U.S. are the same that it carries over a lot. Like,
oh, of course, no. Like I used to live in Wisconsin, and they're all like French rednecks up there. Yeah, with the farmers' tans and everything.
Yeah, and then,
but yeah, I'll tell you what, man. Canadian ball busting is my favorite genre of adult film. No, but I'll tell you this. So that's, what's it called again?
Letterkenny.
Letterkenny,
right, so,
awesome.
And then there's one thing you need to, if you look up the super cold open.
Yeah.
It is the best act of alliteration you will ever see.
Damn, man.
Yeah. In terms, it is 5 minutes of just straight incredible alliteration. You need to check it out.
You know I'm a sucker for alliteration.
I did not know that, but I know now.
There's another show called Kenny versus Spenny from Canada. I guess there are a lot of Kennys in Canada. But yeah, a lot of good stuff. All right, so let's, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's dive right into this box office. There's a super interesting lineup. I'm gonna break it down, you know, element by element here, and then we can talk about it as a whole.
Tell me what you got.
Number 1 was Ocean's 8 with $41 million.
Okay.
Number 2, Solo, a Star Wars story, at $15 million.
15 million, okay.
Deadpool 2 with 13.6. Hereditary with 13 million. And rounding it out, Avengers Infinity War with 6.8 million.
Okay.
So, I'm happy for Ocean's 8.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about them. I haven't seen the trailers or anything. To me, it just seemed like a kind of a forced like sequel and that sort of shit. But I mean, Ocean's has always been a valuable property just because of the amount of star power involved. So, but seeing Solo in second place in only its third weekend is that's got to be devastating for Disney's bottom line.
I agree. I've seen where it doesn't have like the staying power a lot of Star Wars has before. But I'm kind of with you on. Actually, I'm not with you actually on Ocean's 8 because I really want to see it because like one, Kate Blanchett.
Doesn't it have Sandra Bullock?
It has Sandra Bullock. It has Anne Hathaway, who I both love. They're both amazing.
Yes.
And it has Kate Blanchett, who I never really thought too much about before. Knew she was a great actress, but never paid much attention to her. Then I saw Thor Ragnarok, and she is so good in Thor Ragnarok. She steals the movie for me. And otherwise, a great movie overall.
Did you say Tessa Thompson?
Tessa Thompson's also good.
Oh, is she also in the? Isn't she also in that movie?
She's not in Ocean's 8, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, but Cate Blanchett, she plays the villain in.
Kate Blanchett, yes. Okay, no, she's always fantastic.
Yeah.
And Sandra Bullock, one of the best cleft chins in the business besides Aaron Eckhart. So
man.
I'm glad that that's doing well. Deadpool 2 also remarkably well for an R-rated film. I haven't seen Deadpool 2, but I love the first Deadpool so much, and I'm really hesitant about it. I might wait for DVD on that one. You know what I mean?
I would say I liked it more than the first one.
Oh, okay. I'll keep that in mind.
The thing is, like, they had a lot more budget and they used it well. So like they actually made good use of it. And the thing is, the credit scene is the best one out of any Marvel film.
Spoil it for me.
No, I'm not going to.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, Hereditary.
There are too many things going on. I can't spoil it all.
So many things involve Pete. Peter?
No.
Okay, the fucking Office guy. Whatever. Okay, and then Hereditary doing very, very well for the first weekend, just off of pure word of mouth. I think everybody's been talking about Hereditary, and then Avengers, of course. You know, it's always doing well.
No,
but the main thing, the elephant in the room here is Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Yeah.
And people have been talking about it nonstop. So. We have our individual thoughts on the film. I haven't seen it, but I have thoughts anyway.
Yeah.
I wanted to call up a special guest, you know, if we whenever we have time to. My friend Hank Gowdey from Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
So I'm calling him up right now, and we'll see if he answers. But
this is a first for the Sneak Peek podcast.
yes,
everybody.
it does it. Yes, we have a special guest.
Yay.
Oh, hello, it's Hank. It's Hank Gowdey. Say hello. You're on the podcast, Hank. The Sneak Peek podcast. Now, Hank, you told us that you wanted to tell us what you thought of Solo: A Star Wars Story. You care to share your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll tell you my thoughts. Frankly, I feel you can't, no matter how hard you try or how handsome a kid you get, can't recreate the classic original Harrison Ford. I mean, the guy's a national treasure, and this guy was a bronze, okay?
Yeah. You talking about Alden Ehrenreich?
Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yes.
Okay.
It sounds like a SS officer or something.
Okay, well,
Ehrenreich.
No, I enjoyed the movie overall, but I agree I didn't like his casting. But like you said, it was so iconic of a role. And hi, I'm Blake, by the way. What's up?
Yeah, this is Blake, Hank.
How you doing? But yeah, I agree that it was so iconic of a role. No matter who you got, I don't think you'd be able to do it. Like, the only thing you could do is if you took 80-year-old Harrison Ford and just had him do it. And just, like, don't even mention that he's 80.
It's tough to get him to do anything because, like, when he was on set for Indiana Jones 4, he'd cook up a big coffee pot full of weed nugs and then stick his face in before every shoot. Did you know that, Hank? That Harrison Ford would...
Can we just mention real quick, because I know this is a movie program, Parker looks like Joaquin Phoenix in Walk the Line when he's in the back of that Cadillac in Mexico getting more opiates.
That's amazing.
I think I look more like Joaquin Phoenix and I'm Still Here.
No,
you know, he's pretending to be a rapper and he looks like a homeless guy.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
I think you look like him in Signs.
Oh, and I think he gets a prostitute to defecate on it. We don't have to talk about
No,
that.
you look like Joaquin Phoenix in Signs. You just need a baseball bat for it.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
But, no, I think...
But hey, what else did you think of Solo: A Star Wars Story? I'm dying to know what you think because I know what a big Star Wars fan you are.
Well, I thought the movie was properly paced. I mean, I was entertained the entire time, so it's got that bare minimum movie requirement met. But on every other aspect of it, I felt was lacking. The story, the interaction between the characters, their faint attempt at comedy.
Yeah, really
horrible.
pathetic from what I understand.
I enjoyed it.
And like the movie, say what you will about it, it's a movie.
I left the theater with the taste of shit in my mouth, human shit.
Oh, that's never good.
Well, okay, but here's something I do want to say.
That's not a good sign when you're...
Now, I want to say something that will defend it, though.
Okay.
Is that, like I said, I didn't like the guy that played Han Solo, yes.
Yes,
However,
Alden Ehrenreich.
Yeah, I did like the supporting cast. I thought Harrison Ford killed it. I thought that...
Harrison Ford wasn't in the film.
Oh, no, not Harrison Ford. What's his name?
Woody Allen.
Woody Harrelson.
Oh, you're right.
No, but anyway, no. And then I'm pretty sure, like I said, after this movie, that Donald Glover is too talented to be a single man. And that, like,
exactly, man.
I think he's multiple people all acting at once. 'Cause, like, he killed it. I really enjoyed Donald Glover in that
Yeah,
role.
from what I've seen, he pulled off the 70s suave Billy D. Williams impression like perfectly.
Now,
like that wasn't he a real pimp in that movie, Hank?
Donald Glover can do no wrong.
exactly. He's amazing.
He's a renaissance. He's a real Renaissance man.
Let me throw a question at you, Hank. Would you have liked it better if it was a Lando movie? If it had focused just on Donald Glover, do you think it would have been a better movie?
I think it would have been now.
Exactly. America doesn't need Solo, a Star Wars story. It needs Lando. A pimp story. That's what we need right now.
Well, one thing I do want to say about the movies is moving forward for like the branch off films, not the main like episode whatever timeline.
Yes.
I want them to stop making movies to adjust minor plot holes in the original series, because now they've done that twice with Rogue One and with Solo. I don't want to spoil too much, but the entire plots are to address very minor throwaway lines that nobody really paid attention to.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
They built movies off of little. Hank, I got a question for you, man. You heard about those writers saying that Lando's character is supposed to be like pansexual. I think that was brought up. What do you think about that? Was that evident in the movie?
It was evident in the movie, yes.
I knew Lando to work mostly on the ship, not in the kitchen, so I don't think he had anything to do with pans.
Oh my God!
It's a great pun. But no, anyway, like it was made evident to a degree. But
Yeah.
like I think.
But I don't think wanting to have sex with a robot means you're pansexual. That means you're robosexual.
Pans are made of metal, and so are robots.
Oh man, you see, I said, can you give Blake a round of applause for that, because that really does tie it up pretty well.
No, but anyway, no, but like it's.
Clap for you, but I only have one hand.
Oh, it's all good. But anyway.
Yeah, he was. Did you know that Hank he lost his left hand in the fires of Chicago?
That sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. How's that stump doing? You still rubbing it with Vaseline?
Yeah, it sucks pretty hard. I had to learn how to give myself a stranger.
Well, anyway, so let's get back to the movies here, and so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing I did think is interesting is I don't know if we're allowed to spoil this or not, but I think.
Darth Maul?
Okay.
Okay.
Like, we have the first major connection to the prequel series. And I think that does
Yes.
open up a lot of doors. In that, there are a lot of bad things about the prequels. There's a lot of great things about the prequels as well. I would
Yes.
offend a lot. And I think Darth Maul is one of those great things.
He's both of those things.
Yeah,
He's both
fair.
a bad and a good. What do you think they're going to return to the universe of the prequels, and we might see Jax's diner and the Gungans again? You know, in the future they might go back.
I want to see that prequel. I want to see that prequel origin story. Learn the goddamn origin of that Cantina song.
Well, I think.
Maybe the writing of that song. You
Again,
got those four dudes
we
with the
don't
heads that
want
look
it
like
based
ball
off
sacks, and
minor
they're sitting
throwaway
down like, we
things.
need a hit, man.
No, I think one thing I would love to see is, we were talking about this earlier. I want to go back to the Old Republic in terms of
The
like.
Old Republic. You ever play that video game?
Never played the Old Republic.
Basically, what I want to see from it is that they had the big Jedi-Sith war in like 1,000 years before. And then that the Sith lost, and then it came down to the rule of two type thing, which is paralleled very nicely in Episode 3. So I think looking at that from a villain's perspective, looking at the fall of an evil empire and then how they set the stages for the rest of the Star Wars universe, I think that'd be a good way to go about it. In that, like, it's something that isn't specifically an issue in the prequels. I think it's mentioned, like, the Sith have been extinct for millennia, but it's looking at the villains who I don't think have had as much of a shine here as they have had both in the original series and in the prequels. Because I think Sidious was a fun villain.
Now, Sidious is a real fun villain. Did they ever explain why lightning can come out of their fingers? Like, is it made of pure hate? What's the idea behind that?
Force power, you're manipulating electricity.
Yeah, I guess the Force can do whatever now. It's pretty liquid. Well, Hank, do you have any final thoughts?
Dude, I gotta say, Insidious must catch quite a cut deal on his electricity bill.
Although,
You're right. He's probably got no problem jump-starting his F-150, right?
He can manipulate it. He can just get it for free.
Zzz, no cables or nothing.
it's funny though. My favorite villain in the prequel series was Dooku. Just because
Dooku was the best.
I love
R.I.P. Christopher Lee.
Rest in peace, Christopher Lee, national treasure.
He made the best spoken word metal music ever.
Yes, he did. He is truly a badass. I love Christopher
Truly.
Lee.
Well, Hank, do you have anything left to say about Solo, a Star Wars story, before we go to break?
I don't think there are any breaks.
If you
We're gonna go to break?
see
We're gonna go to
Solo, you support segregation.
Oh, well, you know what? Elaborate on that. I've heard some people saying
Thanks
that.
for having me on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See you later, Hank. I don't know what the hell he meant by that.
No clue.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I thought Solo was fun. I think it's worth watching. I liked it more than Rogue One.
Yeah.
And more than Last Jedi. I didn't like it more than Force Awakens, but I think it was a step in like a more fun direction for me.
I've yet to see it, but you know, I'll give it a chance.
Okay.
If it maybe when it hits Redbox, I don't feel like getting to a theater to see that. You know what I mean? I'm just exhausted. It's over.
If you're gonna go to a theater, see Deadpool 2.
Yeah. All right.
There you
That
go.
works for me.
Yes. All right.
All right. So we're We're going to go to break.
I don't think there are breaks here.
And then we'll be right back.
Okay.
We'll be right back with the Sneak Peek podcast. I'm just going to get some water real quick.
Okay.
Penny pinching off the eyes of the damned. I'm a grown-ass man, you're a boy, you don't know shit. I will turn every fucking hollowed-out face to an upside brown in a fast swoop motion. Everybody scramble for the rat race portion. Then you sit and wonder where your life went wrong, but your time gon' slip to retirement homes with your arms outstretched to regret comatose. And I see you sweating where the crown won't sit, but the crowd won't sweat over me. Oh, with your mouth after swollen as your forehead is, and your King Kongzilla with some Rodan lips. Where the program sits, there was never any doubt. I'm the trap soul kid with that old head bounce. Lay my 2 cents on your eyelids where you sleep in your house. Put you down like X-Men.
I'm working for a production company now. I've been learning how to edit. I didn't know how to use Final Cut, and I did not know how to use Max.
I thought I'd experiment a little bit.
Editing is easy for me at first.
This mic is
I'm learning a little bit. I'm learning how to edit multicam footage, and I want to go into advertising. So being able to edit footage quickly and being able to put things together and tell a story in 3 to 4 minutes. Once I branch that down a little bit more into 30, 45 seconds, hopefully that'll be good for advertising. Hopefully Parker isn't just leaving. I feel like that'd be very funny if he just left for the rest of the podcast and I kind of had to ramble on my own. But I'd be totally okay with that. Because, I mean, I like Parker. I also like me. So between those two things, it's a fun time. Anyway, hold on, let me take a drink real quick. All right, so we're turning Parker's mic back on.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Yes, I'm
Now-
all refreshed. I got some water.
All right, now
Welcome back to the Sneak Peek podcast. Now,
welcome back. Now, hold on, I got a question for you. Did I tell you what I bought for my truck recently?
yeah, but you can tell me again.
All right, I bought a trailer. And speaking of trailers, we're going to be talking all about the new trailers that we have out.
Oh, hey, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I just bought a Segway.
Yes.
And speaking of Segways, we're going to talk about some trailers right here.
Now speaking of Segway, not spelled the same way though.
No,
Anyway.
it's not
Yeah.
actually.
All
All
right.
right, tell you what, man. Look, there were a lot of trailers that came out these past
Yeah.
couple weeks, right? And I'm having major problems with my mouth area. So we watched all of these, right?
I watched most of them, yeah.
I tuned into a compilation on YouTube, got these all out. So just we'll go through these one by one, okay? So the first one was First Man, the story of
Yes.
Neil Armstrong, the first man to set foot on the moon, directed by Damien Chazelle. And like,
Now-
what'd you think of this trailer?
Well, first, I can't remember real quick. What else has Damien Chazelle done?
Oh my God, La La Land,
That's right,
Whiplash.
okay.
He's
Yeah.
great.
The
and
name
this
sounded
time
familiar.
you won't have the crutch of
Jazz.
of music.
Yeah, so I know that I think he does very well with Ryan Gosling because, like, I like La La
Yes.
Land, so I think he directs him well. And my thing is, I'm not getting tired of early space movies, but I want to see a new track on it. I think this might be a good way to do it. In that, like, we've had like Apollo 13, we've had
Yeah.
a lot of ways to look at the space program. originally.
Interstellar.
Yeah, well, that was an early space, but I get what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the same kind of tone to it.
Yeah.
When I watched the trailer for this, I think Interstellar. I think Christopher Nolan. It feels very Spielberg-y to me. And this is a Universal production. And I feel like giving Damien Chazelle this movie after he just like almost won an Oscar or got buzz, they're kind of Spielberging him. They're trying to make him into a new Spielberg. Which even the script is by the people who wrote The Post. So it's I think it'll be cool. It'll have that, you know, that warm fuzzy feeling that you get when you watch a movie like Apollo 13 or
Yeah.
even like something like the Martian.
I was gonna say I got a Martian vibe from it, and the idea of like
Yeah.
problem solving on Earth. That way you don't have to die up in space.
Yeah.
That, like, because I know there was so much that went into that real event, so I'm interested to see what they can do with it that hasn't already been shown.
And it looks tense when you're watching the trailer. It looks like a harrowing experience.
especially because I feel like we don't. I know it was, but we don't think of the first moon landing as that tense. We kind of think of it. Oh, we got most of the bugs
Yeah.
worked out by then, but.
But weren't there other guys that went to the moon and didn't get to walk on the moon?
I don't know.
Like I think there was one guy
Well,
who just like
no.
he went all the way there and then he just couldn't step foot on the moon.
That guy,
he
he
was just
passed away-
watching them.
He passed away recently.
That guy?
I
Oh,
think-
that's so sad.
I think he went to UT, if I remember right. I could be wrong.
That's even more sad. What am I doing here?
Yeah. But anyway,
I'm just gonna get to the moon, not walk on it.
no, but I mean, you got to go into space. But anyway, one thing I think I'm hoping that Buzz Aldrin has a
They were
cameo.
playing golf.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping the Buzz Aldrin has a cameo though, because I love Buzz Aldrin. I think he should show up.
Buzz Aldrin's the best. Wasn't he talking about some sort of like monolith on one of the moons of Saturn that we're destined to go discover, something like that on CNN a few years ago?
He told Stanley Kubrick about it.
Was that just? No. I'm dead serious though. He was actually on the news talking about this. So is that a real thing? Did we forget about that?
I have no clue. But you know who might have the answer? Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph might.
Wreck-It Ralph 2. Yeah. And so have you seen that trailer? Because I actually did not see that one.
I'll tell you what. I saw the trailer for this and I was disgusted.
Okay,
I
why?
was disgusted by it. Number one, they ditched the video game theme entirely. There are almost no video game characters in this. They go to the internet, right? And they're literally like, we're going to the internet. And that's it. There's no setup for it in the trailer. They're just like, we're going. And then as soon as they go to the internet, the website they choose to go to is Disney's website.
Okay.
And they're surrounded, there's Iron Man, there's all sorts of Disney characters. They're literally in Disney World. And then they go into an area with all the princesses, and you see all of them. And like, it's just such a fucking, it's disgusting. They're hawking their crap. Wreck-It Ralph was a good movie. And now this,
Never saw it.
It's a great movie, dude. It's like funny. It's one of their better ones in a while, and now they're just using it to shill their bullshit.
Now, one thing I'm looking at, we do have a lot of topics to get to. Can we each just pick one now to talk about from the rest of the trailers? Because I know there are a lot. No, we have a lot of topics we want to get to today.
You're absolutely
and we have half
right.
an hour to do it.
But I think this other stuff might not take. Well, okay, yeah. Look, I'll pick two of them. You pick two.
Okay, I've got two I want to talk
about.
about.
All these.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm assuming you picked one of them.
Yeah. So the first one is Halloween.
Yeah.
And I am hype as hell for the new Halloween.
Of course.
It looks really good because like the franchise has had its ups and downs, but one thing that really struck me about the trailer is at one point they're like, oh yeah, wasn't Michael Myers his brother? No, people just made that up. And that like,
it's great.
It's ignoring everything except for the very first movie. And I
They're
think
treating it like X-Men 3, just wiping the slate.
Never saw X-Men 3, but like
you don't have to. It's wiped slate.
But I'm happy to see Jamie Lee Curtis back for like the second time after
long
age 20.
hair this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I like her. I think she's always really cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing her kicking ass because it looks like she's going to.
Of course.
Yeah. So I think it'll be a fun movie. I'm looking forward to.
And that director, David Gordon Green, he made Pineapple Express and Your Highness, but he's also made the movie Joe with Nicolas Cage, which is a really cool drama. And like more like Get Out was the same thing. Comedy filmmakers doing straight up horror, and I think it looks so fresh, the trailer. So
now, one thing I think is cool too is that they've got, if I remember correctly, the guy that originally played Michael, Nick Castle, they got him back, and I think that'll be really cool. It'll be the first time he's played Michael since the first Halloween movie 40 years ago.
that is really cool.
Yeah.
God damn.
And the thing about him is like when people talk about like the unnatural movements that he did, a lot of it was like he wasn't an actor. He was a producer. He just happened to be a friend of John Carpenter, and they just needed somebody to fill that role.
That walk is so scary. He walks like he's got a broomstick up his ass. that would be Jeffrey Dahmer, though.
There's one thing though, like at the end of the
You
first
know how
Halloween.
Jeffrey Dahmer died? Okay, never mind.
Anyway,
we don't have to bring that up.
The end of the first Halloween, where like he like sits up. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah.
we just. Apparently that's almost impossible to do. To like sit up without moving your legs, it's incredibly hard to do.
You gotta have a lot of core strength.
Yeah, exactly.
It looked like they reversed the film almost. It was super unnatural.
Might have been, but yeah.
But
either way.
I'm gonna choose a trailer right now. It's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
And like the only thing that has my interest on this is number one, it looks like a cool story and the animation style is really awesome. But Sony's also learning from their mistakes with Spider-Man, because they pulled this line verbatim from the movie Justice League, where there's a part where Batman says to the Flash, hey, don't worry about saving everybody. You got to save one person, then you'll know what to do. And Spider-Man says that in this trailer, too.
Nice,
And I thought that was the only fucking good part of all of Justice League. So
I like that
I'm just glad they're ripping off the right material.
I'm just happy they're doing a lot of new stuff with Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that'd be cool.
What is this, the 6th Spider-Man in the last 10 years?
I mean,
and it's going to be in theaters, too, so it's legitimate.
Yeah. I think it's a good way for people to see Spider-Man in between Infinity War. Because have you seen Infinity War?
Yeah, he dies.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I know they're going to bring him back because they're making a sequel to Homecoming.
Yeah, they killed off all the most lucrative characters in the movie.
Well, they didn't kill off the original Avengers, though.
No, they didn't. Well, they're no longer the most lucrative. That's the thing.
That's fair. But anyway, the other one I did want to talk about was Bumblebee.
Ah, you took Bumblebee.
Yeah, because that's the first time I've been excited about Transformers since the first one.
Yeah, man.
So I think it looks good. I like Haley Steinfeld. I think she always does a good job. That, like, especially when you look back at like True Grit, like she killed it in that movie. She's a really good actress.
I almost wish she was still taking roles kind of like True Grit instead of, but yeah.
Hey, Pitch Perfect was good. I would defend Pitch Perfect.
I have never seen any.
They are delightful. Anyway,
I'm sure they are.
But yeah, so I'm excited to see what she's going to bring new to the franchise. It might like mess up the continuity a little bit, but at this point, it doesn't really matter that much.
There's no continuity. They don't care anymore. And like it's cool. It's got a Spielberg type vibe. You know, it feels like an E.T. or something like that. Just a nostalgic, you know, good, warm and fuzzy vibe. Which,
yeah. I mean, it's the first one that I'm planning on seeing in theaters since the first Transformers 10 years ago.
Yeah, what did you say that it reminded you of, the trailer?
Oh, it reminded me of Herbie Fully Loaded at first when you first watch it. Because it's like this beaten down bug who then turns into like this massive car machine thing.
Yeah, it looks like Herbie Fully Loaded action movie version.
That also reminded me of Big Hero 6 a little bit. Like in terms of like the relationship that she and Bumblebee have together, it looks similar to that to me.
Oh yeah, with the Michelin Man. Great movie.
That was a good movie. I enjoyed that.
But okay, yeah, and that's pretty much all we need. There are more trailers, but honestly, like How to Train. What are we gonna say about How to Train Your Dragon 3?
I mean, you would have thought he would have learned how to in the first one. What do I know?
Exactly. Now the dragon's fully trained by this point. But yeah, okay. So we're gonna move. Here's my problem, Blake.
Okay.
I always segue.
Where's this gonna go?
I always segue into the new topics by saying we're gonna segue into the new topic now.
Okay.
And I'm looking for just a smoother way to, you know, just like move the show along without it getting all clunky.
Well, okay. I've got a question for you.
What's that?
Who's John Lasseter?
Oh, John, great. That's a great question, man.
That's a good segue.
Because it leads into the. We just need to stop meta addressing all our segues so we can be like real broadcasters.
Yeah. Anyway, but the question is, I know that you're the Disney expert. You know a lot more than I do. So
I am the Disney expert.
Like, tell me what's going. I've heard some bad things. So I just want to know what's going on.
Yeah, according to the latest news, John Lasseter is going to be leaving Disney by the end of 2018, and he's like the. He's basically the chocolatier of all our childhoods.
Okay.
Because he made a lot of the early Pixar movies. The last one that he made was Cars. You know, he was part of those original meetings and stuff like that. But apparently, he started getting a little grabby around the office. You know, just like pinching bosoms and whatnot. So they're kicking the guy out.
Okay.
You can't just wear Hawaiian shirts and flip-flops and walk around grabbing bosoms. Nobody's going to tolerate that. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I think like if something like that is going on, he needs to go, definitely.
Of course. Yes. It doesn't. I don't care if you made WALL-E.
Never saw WALL-E.
You need to.
But no. So in terms of like, we got bad people going out.
Yeah.
And then we got a good new person coming in with the Old Spice guy, Isaiah Mustafa, is going to be playing Mike Hamlin in It Chapter 2.
Oh, yeah,
and I
we're moving on, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to talk more about it, you're welcome to. But I think we got the point out is that he's leaving probably for a good reason.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Anyway, so It Chapter 2 is bringing back the Old Spice guy, Isaiah Mustafa. And I just got to say real quick, this man is what got me into advertising, like in terms of undergrad and graduate school. And the guy that made that ad, what's his name? I think Craig Allen. He went here to UT.
Right, of course, yeah. And he's like, he's got such a goddamn charisma behind him.
He does.
Mustafa. He was almost cast as Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy.
But yeah, I think it'll be interesting because I think he's somebody that a lot of people remember, but they don't remember him really as an actor. They remember him as like an advertising figure. So I think it'll be cool to see what they do with him. Like it'll be interesting casting that.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see Mike be a badass too, because he's like he's a burly guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So it'd be cool to see. Maybe he'll punch the clown right in the face.
I'd be okay with that.
What's penny for your thoughts? Penny, I don't know.
I like it. I like it. Did you want to talk about Rian Johnson as well?
Yeah, we could. I'd love to talk about Rian Johnson because Rian Johnson's new Star Wars trilogy apparently may release in as little as 2 years with all new characters. Which this is kind of. I was kind of expecting something like this would happen, where after Episode 9 comes out, they're going to take a break with the numbered films for at least like 5 years, maybe even 10 if they've got some balls. But like in the meantime, getting Rian Johnson in for an entire trilogy for it's like they're Peter Jacksoning him into it. Like they're giving if they're doing that, they have to be giving him complete creative freedom. So I'm really down for it because what we'll be getting is just a cool sci-fi trilogy with maybe some recognizable elements, and like I'm 100% down for that.
Well, and I think
I'm just tired of shit having the Star Wars name or being like way more important than it actually is.
Well,
like expectations fucking ruining everything.
The way that this makes sense to me is that the old expanded universe in the mid-90s, my favorite series in it was the X-Wing series, and the reason was it was hard military sci-fi that was Star Wars flavored.
Fucks yeah. I
Yeah.
read the Death Star novel, and it was exactly the same way.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that like a lot of people, they look at so much of the issues with Last Jedi, but there's a lot of great things about the movie too. That shot of the ship going through the giant thing.
Oh,
like,
beautiful.
It's such a beautiful shot.
Of course,
it's
and
so good.
the whole storyline with Kylo and Rey was incredibly well executed. It leaves me scratching my head as to the rest of the movie, but
Yeah, I mean the action's well executed. So in terms of like, I trust him as a director to give us an entertaining film.
Exactly.
It might not be what we expect, as we saw with Last Jedi, but like I trust him to deliver a good product.
I completely trust Rian Johnson 100%. Because he's more than being a good filmmaker, he's an excellent creative director. When you really let him shine. On Looper, he got Shane Carruth to help out with the time travel physics and the way it looked and like the structure of how it worked in the story.
Yeah.
Which is really because Primer is probably the best time travel movie ever made. So it's
Wait,
like,
did he also do Primer?
Yeah, Shane Carruth. He got Shane Carruth to work
gotcha,
on the time travel.
I thought you meant
physics on
Rian
Looper.
Johnson did Primer.
Nope, no. But he worked with that guy.
Nice,
And
cool.
I hope he hires him again because that guy's broke as fuck. Somebody help out Shane Carruth. He's a genius.
He'll use the time machine. He'll
Writes,
figure it out.
directs, edits, scores all of his own movies, and y'all ain't giving him shit. Help a man out.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
look him up on Patreon.
I got you. So do you want to move on to our main topics?
Yeah, sure. We have topics.
So the first topic I want to talk about
Yeah.
is that I've been on a bit of an Aaron Sorkin kick recently. Like
Yes.
I watched Social Network, I watched Steve Jobs, watched a little bit of The West Wing, all great stuff. And like I mentioned earlier, that movie Letterkenny, also
Letterkenny.
show Letterkenny, great
Yeah.
show, great dialogue.
Right.
But my question is for you, where Aaron Sorkin is known for writing great dialogue, what makes good dialogue in a movie for you? It might not be Aaron Sorkin, it might be somebody else. Like, what do you define as good dialogue in a film?
Oh man, it's usually really character oriented. It's usually, as much as I like Sorkin, the monologues kind of make it when you're watching it, you're like, oh, this is Sorkin. This isn't like a story where it's like seamless. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And I like it. Like Martin McDonagh pulls that off really well in a lot of his films. And
Was he the guy that did?
of course, Tarantino.
Yeah,
you know?
Mark McDonagh. Was he the one that did Seven Psychopaths?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. 7 Psychopaths, 3 Billboards, that stuff. I like.
Wait, that was also him?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I like dialogue that cuts straight to the bone and doesn't dance around shit. You know, when there's a lot going on emotionally in pretty much every scene. It's not just like patter, you know, that type of shit.
I got you. Because I guess for me, too, it comes down to like, dialogue for me is different depending on how I view the character. So if you look at like Clerks, for example, Kevin Smith, I think the dialogue is great in there because I picture it as just being two schmucks who were at a convenience store. Like,
Right,
that makes
yeah.
sense. Then if you look at like Steve Jobs, how like you picture these as being super smart people, like ones who'd be able to come up with stuff quickly, that there it works. It's when it doesn't match up with the character, I think that's when I have problems.
Yeah, there's a difference between something like Clerks and something that's beautifully written from a linguistic point of view, like Network, Patty Chayefsky's Network.
I haven't seen that.
It's probably my favorite dialogue in any movie ever. It's like, I'm mad as hell, I'm not gonna take it anymore.
yeah, okay.
So many, basically every scene has a quotable in that movie. It's a masterpiece. And it still manages to be socially relevant today, but that's not related to the dialogue. Basically every scene, there's some sort of heart-shattering emotional conflict going on. And it's just like, pacing is huge. Like every line's gotta mean something most of the time, you know? If there's just, sometimes when like, a lot of times with like, let's take a Hollywood movie, like Rogue One, for example. You'll be watching a scene and characters are just talking and they're saying things about a gun or something or other, and it's just not, there's no electricity or friction or anything. I like people fucking yelling at each other all the time.
I got you. Now, one that I think, though, a group that I think does well at both is, I can't remember, do the Coen brothers write their movies?
Yeah, the Coen brothers, most of their movies, yeah.
I feel like they can do very well at both. Because you take a movie like True Grit, where everybody's talking in like a super esoteric manner.
Yeah, Serious Man, too.
I feel like you do as well. And then you look at like No Country for Old Men, where you have like, in the same movie, you have like Llewellyn who barely talks.
Yeah.
And then you have Chigurh who has like these creepy monologues all the time.
Yeah.
And I think it all fits their characters very well.
A lot of intense mumbling, though. This coin has traveled 60 years.
No. You want to talk about mumbling? You know what movie has a lot of mumbling?
What's that?
Shooter, 2007.
Oh, I love Shooter. Antoine Fuqua's Shooter.
Antoine Fuqua's great. He's
He's
fantastic.
so underrated.
Yeah, but like that
Even
movie,
Equalizer is really good.
Yeah, I'm excited for the new one.
Yeah.
But yeah, just in terms of that, like, there's so much mumbling in that movie from Marky Mark and from Danny Glover. You can't understand a word that anybody's saying, and I love it.
It's probably the best end of a movie, cabin in the middle of the woods shootout, you know, scene. Shooter. It's very underrated. Marky Mark, I think that was what kicked off him doing a bunch of, like, making a ton of movies about American tragedies, too. When he became that, like, figure.
To be fair, that was fictional. Like,
I know that
okay.
was fictional, but like it put him on that because he made the oil spill movie, he made the Boston Marathon movie, he made Transformers, and well, Transformers doesn't count.
You're grouping together very different
Transformers
movies.
doesn't count, but it's basically a Bud Light commercial, so it counts a little bit.
Well, no, I think if you count like Lone Survivor, 12 Strong, things like
Lone
that.
Survivor!
Oh no, he wasn't in 12 Strong.
He wasn't in 12 Strong,
That was
but
Chris
I'm
Hemsworth.
shocked that he wasn't. But anyway.
But yeah, just going back to the dialogue thing, I'm
Yeah.
thinking now, like I said, the Coen brothers are really standing out to me because like you look at like even Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and
Yeah.
like, people don't talk like that normally. But I didn't live in the 1930s. I don't know. It seems like how
I
they
love
would
Oh
talk.
Brother Where Art Thou. I
Yeah.
still listen to that soundtrack.
That's such
every
a
now
great,
and
and
then,
the
man.
soundtrack's amazing.
Super classic, dude. But super classic, dude. Okay,
What are you
so
from 1994?
yeah,
Did Aaron Sorkin write your dialogue?
This wizard, man. We got a wizard fucking podcast here. Wizard as an adjective.
Hmm.
But yeah, we have another bullet point here. Biggest
Yes.
surprise of the year. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
All right, out of all the movies you've seen so far this year,
Yes.
which one surprised you the most?
Oh, okay. Movies. Because
Yeah.
I thought you meant just biggest surprise in general.
I mean,
Because like
we're-
yesterday, I saw about 50 naked people on bicycles riding down Guadalupe Street.
It's Austin. That is
They
not
were all
surprise.
they were all butt naked driving down the street. That was pretty surprising.
Like I said, it's Austin. You can't be surprised.
you
by that
really
anymore.
can't. Yeah, they were
Anyway,
raising money.
but in
for
terms of
something.
movies, like
Yeah.
what really surprised you in terms of
Movies.
films you've
What
seen?
surprised me? Oh my God, man! There was one movie that I saw that I think I said to myself, "This is the best of the year thus far," but you know, it's 4 o'clock, and my brain's super foggy.
You know,
So
4,
what
4
was
p.m. on a
yours?
Sunday, the perfect time for a cloudy mind.
Exactly, man. And I'll probably be able to think of it if you share yours
Well,
first.
one I did want to say, and this is actually going to tie into a recommendation of the week.
Yeah.
The biggest surprise so far for me this year was Upgrade. I went and saw it this past week, and I was so impressed by it. It was so good. Because what it is, I went in expecting a dumb action movie.
Right.
And it has all the parts of a dumb action movie, but it goes deeper. It's something that is well enough made that it could fit into the Blade Runner universe. It looks like something like Denis Villeneuve would have shot.
Right.
Because it's got the guy that that did the cinematography for all the Saw films. There's a lot of really cool shots in the movie.
Ooh.
Like, it's a beautiful movie. It's very well done. And it actually looks at, I've mentioned before, it's almost like a 2-hour Black Mirror episode. And it looks like our dependence on technology.
And it's based on the character from Ben 10, right? Upgrade.
Not quite.
Dude was made of black goo.
It is not based on him. It's very similar to the movie Venom in a lot of ways.
Oh.
But because you watch it in the trailer.
That movie's not even out yet.
Well, you watch the trailer. The guy looks just like Tom Hardy, like to a amazing degree.
Oh, yeah.
But he really makes it his own because he has a great physicality. 'Cause
Right.
Basically, the movie's about a guy that gets a chip implanted in his body and that thing can control his body for him because he can't walk anymore. And there's a lot of great physical acting, like in that it's difficult to make your body and your head out of sync with each other, and he does it really, really well, even during like fast-paced scenes. Like he'll be sprinting or fighting or whatever, and his head is like completely, I don't want to say detached, but like in terms of the performance, detached from the rest of his body. Like I totally bought that he wasn't in control of his own body at certain
So
points.
he's like if Stephen Hawking was a superhero.
Pretty much. In terms of like basically he gets injured, like his wife gets killed.
I'm gonna kick your ass. Watch
Yeah.
out, motherfucker. Hey, listen.
But no, there's one other thing I do like in the movie though. It's that like you know how a lot of movie fight scenes they get crap for being way too choreographed. Like
Yeah.
that happens in this movie, and it is completely justified. Like it makes total sense as to why there's one fight that is very overly choreographed,
Right.
And it is completely justified as to why.
Because they're both like super hyper computer ninjas.
Exactly, they can like predict each other's movements.
Damn.
But it's still entertaining and still fun. And the movie as a whole, I think it goes in ways you don't expect. It's also got the one lady, I cannot remember her name, but she was in Get Out and she was in, what's it called?
Oh man,
She was also in the Last Purge.
I can't remember either, but speaking of ladies whose name I can't remember, there were like 3 of them in my favorite of the year. Annihilation.
I still need to see that. Can you
Yes,
tell me a little bit about that?
Annihilation. It's another sci-fi film, and it's on another level in that it's conceptual. You know, it's sci-fi in its purest form, meaning that there's actual, deep content in terms of like they're trying to chase that feeling of looking at the monolith in 2001 kind of. And there's so many eerie and haunting scenes, and the practical effects and the CGI are both really incredible. There's this they built this giant bear skull thing in practical effects, and you see it its maw opening up, and oh my God, man, it's just an experience, a cinematic experience. Natalie Portman is fine, but Jennifer Jason Leigh does a really good job.
Really? Oh, she's in that. I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
know that.
yeah,
That's cool. Good
And
to see her getting work.
Michelle Gonzalez, I think her name
Michelle
is.
Rodriguez?
Not Rodriguez, no. She's in Jane the Virgin.
Oh,
She's Jane in Jane
yes,
the Virgin.
I know who you're talking about, but I
Okay.
can't remember her name. Gina Rodriguez. Is that
Gina
right?
Rodriguez,
Yes.
there it is. But yeah, she's phenomenal in that too, particularly. And I recommend everybody go watch Annihilation if you haven't yet.
Now, one question I would have for you for that is like you take a look at movies like Annihilation, and then you also have things like Blade Runner, Arrival, and Interstellar. Do you think we're entering a renaissance of really good horror, or not horror, sci-fi films?
Hell yes,
Okay.
dude. Especially with like First Man coming out too. It's like sci-fi's more. We're getting kind of stuff like Prometheus. Now we're actually getting what Prometheus was promising us, and not like you know what Prometheus ended
Yeah,
up
yeah.
being. Just a bunch of shit. So yeah, we're actually getting more high concept sci-fi, and I love it. Especially with Hereditary doing so well in the box office too.
Well, that's horror, not sci-fi.
Isn't it? Doesn't it have sci-fi elements?
No,
Oh, I was
it's like
reaching.
strictly like witchcraft.
I was reaching. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It has a lot of similar elements to the Vivitch from like
The
2000.
Vivitch.
Yes.
It's called The Witch. People, but I like The Vivitch.
Well, also I did like we're going tangential a lot here. But,
Oh, yeah.
But the Vivitch I like because
Yeah.
it gave us Anya Taylor-Joy, and I think she's been killing it recently.
Anya Taylor-Joy is a treat.
Because let's see, she was in Split, she was in Thoroughbreds, which Thoroughbreds I wasn't big on, but I like the concept of the movie. It just wasn't my style. If
Of
that
course.
makes sense. Yeah. So, like I think there's a lot of good stuff coming out. She was also in. I think was she in the Obama biopic? Am I thinking of the right person?
There's an Obama biopic?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's called Barry, isn't it?
Yes. She I think
Yeah.
plays like his college girlfriend in Barry, if I remember right.
Neat. What an honor. Yeah.
Yeah, but then so in terms of the sci-fi, like why do you think it's coming around so much? Like why do you think we're seeing this renaissance of sci-fi?
Well, I think number one, Black Mirror really probably popularized it mainstream-wise. Like people are like, it was kind of the new Twilight Zone, so it's become kind of a cultural boom. More people want to be, they want to see stuff that's more disturbing from sci-fi. It doesn't have to be just space operas or mixed with fantasy anymore. It can go to really dark places because we've just, we're fine with darkness now. Your average moviegoer, they'll see some fucked up shit and be like, that was great.
And I feel like also like the average person, again, I could be wrong on this, but we have more interaction with technology on an everyday basis.
Oh yeah,
so much
technology
more
is
than we
an
did
intimate
like
part of our daily lives.
30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
But then even you look at like we're kind of getting closer to, reality is getting closer to what we thought classical sci-fi was in terms of like we all have computers in our pockets that can do whatever.
It's harder and harder to see a future, to even create one, really, because like if you look at the Jetsons and shit, like what's our equivalent of that now? Where
Fallout.
Fallout.
Yeah, new Fallout's coming out
probably.
too. That's gonna be
all
good.
of our visions of the future are dystopian now. It used to be all like, oh, it's everything. We have flying cars. It's a utopia. Now all we see is dystopia in the future. Is that because we're just honest about it, or are we just cynical?
I'm not really sure because I mean I think there are optimistic ones out there as well. Things like Interstellar.
Well,
that
Tomorrowland, but it bombed horrifically.
I want to like I said, Interstellar ended on an optimistic note, and then The Martian is not like far-reaching sci-fi, but I think it still ends optimistically.
I thought the optimism was what pissed me off of that movie.
Really?
They kept cracking jokes.
I mean, well, no, I think that makes sense though, because if you look at like how would somebody last emotionally through that experience?
That's what I would be doing, but if I was in that situation. But my vlogs would probably not be very entertaining in that situation.
Well, keep in mind we only see what 10 of them out of like 900 that he does.
yeah, you're right. But I prefer if we keep that technology out of our films. Vlogging, you see Unfriended.
I've not seen that.
Unfriended is a bizarre experience because it's all screen capped from a laptop. You just like that. You're seeing a laptop screen the whole time.
That reminds me
And
too.
it's a movie. Things happen. It's
Oh,
Skype calls.
What's the one that came out recently? I think it was directed by Soderbergh, where like he films it all on an iPhone.
Oh yeah,
What's
he
that?
did that for the girlfriend experience. I think I don't know
Okay.
if that's what you're talking about, but that's what he's been doing lately. He's been shooting on an iPhone and
Unsane.
editing.
That's it, Unsane.
Unsane, yes, and I need to see that too because I'm a big Soderbergh fan.
Well, the thing I think is cool about it is that like basically you have filmmaking technology in your pocket. I think that's really
Yeah.
cool that like
Anybody can make a movie.
yeah, exactly. And like anybody, because I know it's somebody, I think it was Maya Deren said it. It's like the technology doesn't make the movie. It's the people that make the movie. So
Exactly.
when you look 40 years ago.
Let's talk about Avatar.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. But yeah, so I guess if you look at something like 40 years ago, they were making great movies with technology that is so paltry compared to what we have now. So I think that's why.
But now we take it for granted, man. Every other thing is a schlocky PowerPoint presentation of shitty CGI.
Well, I think that also comes just because we can. Like we could.
Exactly, we can.
couldn't-
It's
yeah.
cheaper than ever. It's quicker than ever. So we just get churned out shit most of the time.
Well, then
When's the last time you saw a movie where they put a really heavy amount of time and effort into the CGI? Where you noticed it and you were like, that's fucking, that looks real, it looks awesome.
I think.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying. I mean, like I thought the new Star Wars, I think all looked pretty good.
Yeah, it looked okay. There was nothing that I could that stuck out to me.
Well,
if anything, the casino planet looked bad, and it
Well,
took me
I
out
think
of
that
the
looked
movie.
bad, yes. But again, that one shot of the ship going through, like the
Oh
Imperial
yeah, that
fleet,
was
that
beautiful.
looks so good.
That wasn't a matter of realism though, as much as it artistically, the art direction was incredible. You know what I mean?
Speaking of art direction, I'm going to change topics again on.
Change topics.
Yeah.
We've got 10 minutes left technically.
Isn't there a new like Vincent Van Gogh movie coming out where like everything is supposed to look like a painting? I could be wrong.
Oh yeah, that fellow who chopped his ear off and sent it to a prostitute.
Yeah, but yeah, so I think that'd be interesting just looking at like. Because like I said, everything is supposed to look like a Van Gogh painting.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be pretty cool.
Does he end up with the prostitute in the end?
No clue. Now, in terms of biopics, the other one I'm excited for is
Chasing. I think that movie you're talking about is I think it's called Chasing Vincent, and I think it's
that
been out
sounds
for a
right. Yeah.
while, yeah.
But the other one I'm
Heard
excited
okay
for
things.
though is what's it? Whatever the Freddie Mercury one is called. I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
That looks really good 'cause-
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes, because Rami Malek is great, and like
Yes.
the trailer is amazing. I love the trailer so much because it blends in every Queen song that everybody knows. They blend them together so well.
Exactly. And now that they've kicked infamous meth-addicted pedophile Bryan Singer off the production, it's gonna come together as a good movie, which is I'm super excited about. Because you can't churn out a good performance while some fucking perv is throwing shit at you on set.
Well, then the thing is too is like I like Rami Malek. I think he's a great actor because I've watched. He's in Mr. Robot, right? Yeah.
He's in Mr. Robot.
he's the main guy. Yeah, okay,
The
yeah.
only thing that's bothered me about Bohemian Rhapsody, in all the pictures, he doesn't have the hog. You know, the classic Freddie Mercury hog where you see the bulge. He doesn't have the bulge.
They might fix it in post.
They might fix it in post. They might give him a bulge buddy, but that's like a crucial part of Freddie Mercury. You gotta have the hog.
No, he does have the mustache though. He has that badass mustache. So I'm
The
excited for
mustache
that.
is half the battle
Yeah.
with what Freddie Mercury had going on.
Now, I'm wondering, do you know how they did the singing for that? Did they just are they dubbing over Freddie Mercury or like
No
how do
clue.
they do that?
I don't think Rami Malek can sing like that. So
Well, I don't think
probably-
there's anybody alive who can sing.
No,
like that
no,
for the most
no,
part.
nobody can.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It'll probably be a good movie regardless. I mean, the guy, Rami Malek's incredible. He just mystifies me in Mr. Robot. Yeah, man. That show's incredible too. I've
Yeah.
been catching up on that, you know.
Is there any other TV you've been watching recently?
Other than Mr. Robot and Arrested Development, not really. You know, I've been taking it easy.
I know. I watched the pilot for a show recently. It was called Branded. Have you heard of it?
Branded.
Yes. It's like The Office, but about an advertising agency.
Oh man.
So me, as an advertising student, I'm like, this is great. Because basically, there's one thing that I relate to extremely well.
Yeah.
And it's that in the opening scene, people were giving a pitch for something. And they're like, okay, what are the numbers going to be about this? And two of the people there were like, oh, they're strong. Like, the numbers are strong. And the other guy's like, yeah, we have 3.2 conversion rate, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I've just had so many class projects that have gone exactly that way.
God
in
damn.
terms of like people trying to just like, oh, they're strong, or they're going to do well. So it really caught me in that regard. Like, that's why I was like, okay, this is something I can relate to. This is something I'm going to watch. The pilot was fun. I thought it was a good time. Hopefully it gets picked up.
Now, if only I could find a show about a loser with no work ethic that I could relate to. But
There's a
anyway.
movie Slacker with
Oh
Richard
yeah, that's
Linklater.
right. I
Yeah.
could watch.
And by the
Pineapple
way, you're not a
Express.
loser. By the way, I've seen the work you do. It's all good.
Don't feel like you gotta throw me that
I'm
bone,
not.
man.
You
It's
know,
a little
hey,
bit of self-deprecating humor.
You know me. I'm the positive guy in this podcast, except when it comes to like Marvel
that made
films.
me feel worse. I feel patronized.
Well, I am not patronizing. You are a good man.
Oh, Jesus,
Yeah.
man. Well, I'll tell you what. According to this, we got 8 minutes left, but I think this is 52 minutes is a solid
Well,
podcast.
we do have to give a recommendation for the week.
We do have to give our recommendations. You wanted to recommend Upgrade.
Yeah.
You've talked about it a little bit, but I mean, give us the elevator pitch. Pretend that camera is Jay-Z and you're J. Cole holding your mixtape. Give him the elevator. Get signed to Def Jam right now.
Okay, Jay-Z, so you have 99 problems, and Upgrade's not going to be one.
Woo!
I feel like that would just be kicked out immediately.
Woo! Yeah, you'd be off.
But
You'd be
no,
off in
basically,
full
like I said, it's about a guy who gets mugged, his wife gets killed, and then he's a quadriplegic. He can no longer move. So he gets this chip implanted in his body that can like run his body for him. And the chip basically says, hey, let's go find the people that killed your wife. And he's like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So like they go out and they figure it out, and basically because the thing is controlling his body, it can also make him fight really well. So it goes through, it's got, like I said, a lot of great shots. The filming is incredible. The pacing is pretty good. The main character is super well fleshed out. The rest of them aren't quite as much. But the thing that really got me about it is that the humor of it is really good in terms of like it knows when to be funny and when to not be. And then it goes deeper than you would expect. Like on the surface, it looks like just like a cheap revenge thriller. It looks like Death Wish meets like RoboCop, basically. And it goes deeper than that. Like we were talking about earlier, how Black Mirror looks at the interactions that people have with technology every day,
Yeah.
it does that in a much more integral sense of like, okay, this technology was put into our bodies a lot. How is that going to affect us? There's a bunch of dudes that literally have guns in their hands, and I'm like, that sold me. I will watch that.
In their hands.
Yeah, like they're loading bullets into their arms and they just fire out of their hands. I was like,
Tell you what, you're on Blueprint 4.
I don't know what that means, but thank you.
Jay-Z has a trilogy of albums called Blueprint. They're iconic.
Gotcha. But yeah, so I mean, it's not a life-changing movie, but if you're looking for a solid like action sci-fi thriller, something that looks like a side story in the Blade Runner universe, this is something that could fit in there. This is something that really blew my mind. Oh, blew my mind in terms of what I was expecting. I was expecting mediocre. I got great.
And if you are looking for a life-changing movie, Garden State.
Yes, or Deadpool 2.
No, Garden State.
I've never seen Garden State. What is Garden State?
No, I'm being ironic. It's really not a good movie at all.
Gotcha. Well,
But this has been the Sneak Peek podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you for spending your Sunday afternoon with us, and
make sure to check out the rest of the videos that we have on this channel. We got lots of good stuff. Especially, we just put up the interview with Max Irons for the new. I can't remember. There's a new show coming out with him. We have a new interview that's up right now.
any
Go check
relation
it
to
out.
Jeremy?
Yes, it's his son.
What?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'll have to check that out. for
Yeah.
sure.
Anyway, yeah. So go check out the rest of the videos, and thank you everybody. Hope you all have a great day.
Google me.
Or Bing.
That's it. We're out, right? Yeah? We're done.